to me, what put you on the map, and for me was Arrested Development, of course. Right. Tobias Funke, one of the all-time greatest characters in television history, in one of the greatest shows in television history. So kind of talk us about how you got that part, because there were so many comedic geniuses involved in that show, and I would put you in that category as well with what you did with that character.
Well, yeah, that was very special. We all knew it was special when we were shooting the pilot. And originally I had, hey, are you guys drum checking?
Sound checking, so I'm muting myself so it doesn't mess you up too much. Sorry.
Because I was going to say, you got to bring the pitch on the floor tom up a little bit. A little bit.
Front of House by David Cross for today's Fozzie show.
Yeah, it was. It was one of those things. So I got I had just moved to New York. I had been in LA for 9 years. I did not care for it, and I never wanted to be there. I needed to be there for work, but I'm not an LA type person. It's not for me. And I wanted to move to New York, and found an opportunity where there was just a break in my work schedule. I'm like, if I don't leave now, I'm going to be stuck here for another 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, exactly right.
Moved to New York, got an apartment, had a girlfriend, just loving life. It was just great. And then I got, my manager said there's this new show that Fox is going to do, and it's this guy Mitch Hurwitz, and it's really great, and you should check it out. And I was like, don't even send it. I'm not interested. I'm not going to go back to LA and work. I just don't want it. Just please check it out. And then even Naomi Odenkirk, Bob's wife, made a pitch for it. Like, you should really check it out. So I got the script, and it was great. The script is really funny. They wanted me to look at the Job and Buster characters, which
wow.
Yeah, and a Job I had no handle on at all. I didn't know what they were looking for. But then there's this, Tobias has kind of and Tobias was always meant to be like a guy who would, a recurring character, not a regular cast member. He was in like 6 episodes or so. And Tobias was like, I immediately got this guy, knew who he was, and that's who I wanted to play. And also, like, the idea of like not being a regular cast member, was really exciting. It's like I can live in New York and I don't have to move to LA for another, 4 or 5 months a year. And so I talked to Mitch and I talked to the directors on the phone, and I gave them my idea, and I said, I'm really interested in Tobias, and this is how I see him. And I described what he looked like and what he wore and all this stuff. And they were like, great, fantastic. And I was like, okay, so I'll be a part-time guy. I'll play Tobias. I'll come in and out. Awesome. Everybody's happy. So I went to shoot the pilot a little while later, and I remember very well being on a little bridge. You familiar with LA? Like, the Beverly Center? Across from the Beverly Center is the Beverly Connection. And there's like this little bridge in the back, this little like walkway, I should say. And I was on there, and I called my girlfriend, who, is very much New York. And I said, hey, I think I have to do this show, and it's really pretty cool, and it's something special, and I think I have to be a regular on it, and I'm going to have to move here. I remember making that call, going, this is really something special. So we all knew it, it was really cool. And everything about it, the direction, meeting Mitch, his personality, the writing, the ability to improvise. It was just, and also the cast. I wasn't familiar with really anybody. I knew Jessica and Jeffrey and Jason's sort of face, but
sure, yeah.
I wasn't, and I didn't know Will or Tony or Michael or Alia and Portia, and it was just it was just a blast. Oops, man, daughter's coming home. Just really fun, uh, and the casting is just perfect on
It
that
really
show.
is.
And again, there was like, like day 4, that feeling that we all had, and we were getting to know each other. Like, this is pretty awesome. This is a rare experience.
Yeah.
So
I love some of the things that Tobias did over the course of the time. You mentioned there was a lot of improv. Obviously, the Never Nude is one of the greatest bits ever. Who came up with that? Was that written for you? Did you come up
no,
with
that was
that?
Mitch. I mean, there was improvising in the beginning, but the pretty quickly the scripts were so dense and so packed, and the scripts got bigger. And I mean this in a literal way. The scripts got bigger and longer, and our time was shrinking. Like every year, Fox would cut off another 30 seconds to sell for ads. So,
Oh wow!
initially it was like whatever it was, 20. I don't. I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass, but it was like 24 minutes an episode, and then that got cut down. By the time we were done, it was like 21 minutes and
Oh
25
wow!
seconds. Like they kept cutting time every year. So but the scripts were getting longer. So any improv stuff was usually cut. It
Mm.
scenes like you would shoot for a day, you'd shoot a scene, and then it would be you'd go into ADR later after everything's posted, and then the scene would be reduced to like a cut on your back, and you'd have to say something like "I'll get the door" or something just to you
Right?
know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Never Nude is a great bit. I also love the fact that Tobias wanted to be in the Blue Man Group,
mhm.
and you would see the random like, fucking blue handprints all over the house, just like randomly placed.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good stuff with that. So what about season 4 when you did the entire? It was kind of over the course of the same period of time. That was very inventive as well for that.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of it. I watched it, and it took me about kind of 6 or 7 episodes, like kind of right when I was getting to like Tobias's story, to really understand how to watch it, and then
Mhm.
I really started to enjoy it more. I mean, I was enjoying it, but it was a little disconcerting. But it definitely took kind of getting used to it and going, oh, I see how to watch this now, and I loved it, loved the idea, loved the execution of it, um, and kind of bummed. I get it, but I'm kind of bummed that Netflix took that version off the air and then just did the chronological version. Like when you go
Right.
see it, you can't see that version anymore.
Oh, really? It doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
I don't think
Oh,
it's.
wow.
I don't think so. It's too bad. It was really inventive and paid off. It was one of those things you kind of had to invest a little time in. And again, it took me like till like good 6 or 7 episodes ago. Oh, I know how to watch this now. I see how this works.